What is
Trying
up,
to pause it real quick. Wrestling hot takes. Don't you love it? I love them. I love speaking my mind about wrestling. Because wrestling, why not? Let's go ahead and get into yet another part of it. Love them so much.
guys, and welcome to the first ever AEW Hot Takes.
Love
This
it.
is a series where I usually ask you for WWE Hot Takes, and then you guys send them over, and I'll tell you if I agree or disagree with you. But for the first time, we have a twist. I am only asking for AEW Hot Takes. I want to see how this performs. Maybe a lot of AEW fans would be into this new series. Anyways, let's get right onto the video with the first hot take. That comes from Psycho Boys, and they say that Cody Rhodes should turn heel by breaking his promise and then challenging for the AEW title, and screw it, have him beat Hangman for it, and
I agree. There's a lot of reasons why. Because here's the thing about this. When this first came about, it sounded like a really cool idea and everything. But there was a problem. There was one problem with it because I wanted to see him win the AEW championship eventually, but because of Oreo, stop. But because of it, he wouldn't be able to. So, because now I won't be able to see him years later win it just for any time. So I kind of want him to do it. So this is something I agree with.
love this idea. I think it is genius, and it will make Cody Rhodes one of the true heels of AEW. Right now, the fans hate him, but this would make the
They
fans
do.
despise him. Like, just imagine Hangman, after months and months of fighting to win the AEW championship, just loses 2 weeks later because Cody Rhodes says, screw it, and he challenges Hangman for the title, like in 2 weeks after having the championship, and beats him and cheats to win it. That would create nuclear heat, and it would also set up a great storyline for Cody Rhodes and Hangman Adam Page. I am actually for that idea. It sounds cool. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. The next hot take is from Sarah, and she says that Kenny Omega is the worst AEW champion of them all. And let's take a look.
Okay. Hold on, everybody. Calm it down. I wouldn't say he's the worst. I would say he doesn't have some stuff towards it right now. Like he makes the title a little bit more watchable when it comes to it. Cause like I love when Chris Jericho was champion. Who didn't love it? I also loved when John Moxley was champion. It was really good. But Kenny Omega at the moment of being a title collector was good, but it kind of went downhill as soon as he lost the titles. Because now he's mainly focused on the AEW championship, which isn't bad. It's not. It's just it's like, how do I put it? It's like you had a gimmick, but then you dropped the gimmick because you couldn't continue on with the gimmick. I wouldn't say he's the worst of all time, but I would say he's not in what he should be when it comes to a champion at the particular moment from what they tried to build when he first got the title. Is what I'm saying. When he first got the title, he was dope, fire, yeah. Now it's kind of like what's the name? Kind of, it's like the typical thing, like how you expect it to go. The heel champion. That's how you expect it. I think that's what makes it kind of boring a little bit more instead of like him going to different companies, and that made it just a tad bit more exciting. So I don't agree with this, but I see where she's going with it.
All the champions. First, we have Chris Jericho, who won the championship way back in 2019, and I thought his reign was a lot of fun. After him,
Yes,
you had
very much
John
so.
Moxley, who was a champion during the entire pandemic era, or at least for the most part in 2020, and then you had Kenny Omega, and if I'm being brutally truthful with you, I would say that I wasn't that big of a fan of John Moxley's title reign. I thought it
Understandable.
was good, but it wasn't great, and it's
It
probably
really
due to the
wasn't.
fact that there was not a crowd, and Kenny Omega does have a crowd, so
Understandable.
that makes it a lot better.
I just think for me, it was just nice to see him win the title and then him hold it. And what he accomplished, the people that he beat alongside it was really good to me personally. I don't think that his title had to be anything kind of special or anything like that. It just, to me, is what he did with the title that made it good to me personally.
And I kind of like Kenny Omega's title reign. I don't think it's great, but I do think it's better than John Moxley. So if I had
I
to
wouldn't
rate
say
them,
that.
it would be Chris Jericho. That title
He's
reign was
getting his own
iconic.
reign.
And then Kenny Omega, and then John Moxley. But honestly, they haven't been too great, John Moxley and Kenny Omega. They could have been a bit better. That's what I'm trying to say. After that, we have Ethan, and he says that John Moxley as an anti-hero is way better than him being a face or heel, despite people wanting him to turn. And no, this is another hot take that I'm going to disagree with. I'm sorry, Ethan. I think John...
No, I agree with him. I don't agree with this. I can't. I had to let it sit for a second, and I had to grab my oatmeal. Sorry, but no, I don't fully agree with that, like, at all. No, let him be. Him. How do I put it? An anti-hero is an interesting character at times. They have some interesting things that they go through as an anti-hero, but also as a straight up heel, it's interesting. How do I put it? Anti-heroes are very interesting in the world of pro wrestling because we're so used to the simple line of heel or face, but him being like on neither side of it, and he can basically deal with anybody. He can basically wrestle with anybody, and it makes sense. That's what I like about him being that kind of character. I like him being like away from the typical heel or face. I will say that. Let me not act like I don't like it. Like, that's what I wanted for him in WWE, with him to be in like in between, not a face or heel, because him being face or heel doesn't really do anything too much when it comes to like certain characters. Certain characters don't need to be the bad guy or the good guy in a situation. Sometimes they just need to be a person in a situation. That's it. They could be as ruthless as they want to be, and it doesn't affect their character. They can be as good as they want to be, and it doesn't affect their character. You get what I mean? Like things like that. So.
Moxley does indeed need to turn heel. I'm kind of like, I'm not bored of him, but I just think he needs a new direction. He's been doing this anti-hero thing for 2 years now. It is time.
I understand what you're saying. It's boring. It's boring in the sense of, watching him. Like, who wants to really see John Moxley continue to do that and non-stop? I like it, but I do think that it does need a change. But right now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm okay with it at the moment. I don't really have too many problems with it. It's fine if he did it for a little bit longer. He did it for another 9 months to another year. Well, I wouldn't say another 2 years, but another year. I wouldn't mind it. I would expect a face or heel turn eventually, but right now him just kind of being like in the middle is kind of cool for me. I don't really have a problem with it.
Time for a change. The next one comes from Garen, or Heron, I can't really say it, but they say that Jungle Boy should go solo for a while. He should work on his promo skills, go for the TNT title, and I feel like his matches between him and Sammy would be epic. And while I do agree that
I think that they should do this. I think this should be a thing that they should do for him for like a little bit, not too long, like a good month, like a small month, or a small little like few weeks of him doing this, going back to the team, and like every now and then being able to go back and forth. The reason being is because it helps with the team dynamic when it comes to things like this. So he's not just forced to be in the tag team and he can't do anything else outside of it. He's shown that he can wrestle as a solo competitor. He can also talk as his own person and not have to have someone behind him. I think that's something that's nice for him solo.
would be epic. I have to disagree. I don't think he should go solo. If anything,
Not right.
I think Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying that he should have moments of like, like how the New Day are able to still be a tag team, but able to like do their own thing, like stuff like that. Kind of like they go back to the tag team after it's all said and done, win, lose, or draw, whatever. But letting him be able to go out of the team and be able to do his thing and come back. Let them support him, things like that. They don't need to break up the team or nothing like that. That's just stupid.
Should become the next tag team champions. Those are two guys that have been a part of the roster for so long. The crowd loves their tag team. They're so over, and they deserve at least one tag team title reign before Jungle Boy moves on and becomes a singles competitor. Jacob says that MJF's next feud after Darby Allin should definitely be CM Punk, and yes, I agree with.
I'm trying to think, because MJF is not a bad character in any sense of the word, like at all. Not a bad character. He's actually a really interesting, really dope character to me. But CM Punk being the next one after this, it's a interesting one to say the least. And I think I wouldn't mind MJF actually being the one that gives CM Punk his first loss. I wouldn't mind it either. I really wouldn't mind it. but they probably will be like someone bigger or probably not. It probably who knows who it'll be. It depends upon what storyline they're trying to push. But yeah, that'll be actually a really good match. Can't wait for it. Whenever it happens, can't wait for it. It'll just be dope to see. Dope. It'd be really dope. Just really dope. Can't wait for it.
I think CM Punk needs a real feud as well, and MJF and CM Punk would absolutely kill it on the promos. The match would be amazing as well. Let's not forget about the match. The match would be good because MJF is one of the best wrestlers in AEW. I love his style, his like kind of old-fashioned 80s styles, and CM Punk knows how to put on a good match as well. This needs to happen for Double or Nothing in 2022. David says that MJF needs to win the TNT or AEW World Championship in 2022. He's been losing momentum after that long Chris Jericho feud. And yes,
that feud was kind of long. It was good, but it was like, what do you do after such a big moment like that? To me, okay, let me put it like this. How I look at a lot of wrestling things is like this. Who it really benefits? Because in a rivalry should benefit both parties. One party should be, over a lot more than the other, of course, but it should benefit both parties. No matter what the storyline, someone's injured, have to go take a break. It should get you over with the crowd a lot more, even if you still got to leave for 8 months, who knows how long. But this one was a pretty nice one. I liked it personally. I really did. I thought it ended like a while ago, and then all of a sudden I see them doing another match, and I was like, I thought the rivalry was already over. They're still going? Am I tripping? Have I been watching the wrong thing? I thought this rivalry was already over. But it's over, so it's good, and I can't wait for him to win the TNT Championship because I feel like that would be the one that they won't give him the AEW at the moment. I feel like they'll give him the TNT Championship. The reason being they'll give him the TNT is for another character, because if he wins the TNT Championship, I do believe that he will elevate it to a better level than almost any previous holder of it, to be honest with you. I think that he will elevate to I think he'll be like a Miz kind of character when it came to the TNT Championship. I think because everyone knows Miz killed it with the Intercontinental Championship. He did so good. It wasn't even funny how great this man was. He made it feel like it could be not only just any random main event, they can main event multiple pay-per-views, WrestleMania type stuff. That's how I felt, and that's how I think he can do the same thing for this title. Personally, I really think he can.
I agree with David 100%. I think after MJF beats Darby Allin, he should go on to beat CM Punk, and after beating CM Punk, that is when he finally goes after the AEW World Championship and defeats Hangman Adam Page, or even if it's Cody by then, maybe Cody. You never know who the champion is at that point. Eminem says that I can see MJF actually going to WWE down the road, and this is something I was thinking about.
This is something I know he talked about it, and I was like, I don't think he should, but I can see him doing it later down. I can see him coming out, and I can see him having just an all-around great match with the goddamn Miz, because that's the match I really want to see him in, against the Miz and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's no one else, but by far that's the number one match I have to see him in. Against the Miz going back and forth. Don't give him a script. Let them just talk. I believe let them have free range to talk about AEW, WWE, anything that they want, bro. And then if Samoa Joe's there, let that go down too, bro. Just let this man have his time, bro. I promise you, it's gonna be amazing. Don't EC3 him.
Quite the time. If there is one person from AEW that can go to WWE and be successful, I think it is MJF. And if they throw a lot of money at him that he cannot deny because Tony Khan cannot match it, I could really see MJF moving over, making that transition, and doing super well. I don't think he's going to be as good as The Miz. I think he's going to have a better career. Yes. He would definitely kill it in that role, and he would get millions of dollars as well.
I've been investing in crypto for a while now. I just put in a couple dollars every week, but why am I charged a fee every time? Well,
Damien says that Adam Cole needs to win a title at some point very soon. We saw what he did with the NXT title, so giving him another championship would be great.
do I say this? Him with the NXT championship, with the North American championship, and I mean he wasn't really a title holder for the tag team, but he had like moments of holding on to the tag team. So I'll say this. He has great moments of doing things. You have like really good moments, amazing moments when it came to like the NXT championship to be precise. But him winning a title already in looking at who's currently can be champion, like TNT champion and AEW championship, I don't think it should be like right now, like very soon. Like it can wait a year or two. Personally, I know that it'll be worth the wait. It definitely will be worth it. So I kind of disagree with this. I would give him a little more time. Only reason is because the other people who could be champion before him. Plus, it goes with the thing of everyone saying, "Oh, they're signing too many WWE guys. They're gonna take over. You know, they're not gonna have enough time and room and all that." You know, it'll fit that if they give him the title already, because then you have to. It's gonna be so much chaos.
Great. And yes, Damien, I agree with you. He should be the next TNT champion. If I was booking AEW, that is what I would do 100%. Not even a question. Airbreaker64 says Brian Cage, Lance Archer, Pac, Andrade, and Matt Seidel's booking is all over the place. And I will say,
yes, it is. They don't have like any a consistent goal. They just have like this random pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. We're back. We're not. Who cares? Who cares? All right, we're back here. We're up. We left. We're back. Okay. Yep. Attack. Nope. Okay. It is. It completely is. It is completely crazy to see, because I love to see Pac. Anyone who knows me, I will say, if they said you only have to vote, if there was one wrestler, one of them that I would by far say deserves the TNT championship more than almost anyone else, or the AEW championship, well, not above Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page. I said his name wrong. I'm so sorry. It would be Pac. Can't wait to see him win that title. I have a feeling that if he win that title, bro, finna run it. Bro, that whole King gimmick is finna come right back. Bro. Don't get me wrong. Really, they could just have the rest of these guys kind of like just destroying a lot of other competition. Like the smaller ones, having like good feuds against them or even against each other. Because realistically, they really can go. There's really no reason for them to have such a long, how do I say, filler for them. Because that's basically what this is filler.
I will say this. I think Lance Archer is kind of overrated. He's not too great.
Back up. Oh, what did you say?
Archer, Pac, Andrade, and Matt Seidel's booking is all over the place. And I will say this. I think
Lance Archer to me personally, big monster, big talent. Not just a big monster with a big talent. He's not Braun Strowman level of good, but he's his own level of good that makes him he can be a brutal monster personally. Like he can really do roughshod over like a lot of different things, and I wouldn't bad an eye towards him. Be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like him running rampant right now, being I know he's not undefeated, but it would be nice. Because didn't John Moxley beat him already, or was that only in Japan? I'm confused. I forgot. But either way go. Yeah, because he fought him for the what's the name championship. He didn't beat him, and I think he went against him again. Then he beat him, right? If I'm correct. I'm probably wrong, but either way go. All I'm saying is this: monster. Let this monster go. Let this monster absolutely go.
Archer is kind of overrated.
I wouldn't say overrated. I would say more along the line of he's not in the great position that he should be in at the moment. He should be not on a mysterious level, but he should be on a destroying everything in his sight. You can't stop me level. It takes a lot to stop him type stuff.
Not great. Same thing for Brian.
Actually, for him, I won't agree, but I slightly do, because I remember seeing him and I kind of felt like they kind of overhyped him a little bit. It's a little too much. I'm not saying that he's not worth it or nothing, but I just felt like they kind of overhyped him a little too much. That it wasn't really worth the time and energy for it like that for the way it's going at the moment.
Cage. And the same thing for Matt Sydal. You don't really have to worry.
I don't know him. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know him. This is the only one I can say I do not know. I apologize.
About those three guys, but I do think it is concerning what's happening.
But I will say this for them, that they probably just need to be booked a little bit better in a more cohesive storyline, a Survivor Series type thing, even right now, to kind of give them something to do, or let them go wrestle for like another company. Let them go to TNT. Let's do a AEW versus TNT. Let's have these guys like going over there to attack them and things like that. I know that's kind of a stretch, but just saying.
Both of those guys are really talented, and if there's any names out of the list that you just sent over, I think they should be pushed immediately. Like I said, Brian.
Those two kind of are in my mind being pushed, but just not being used as on every day like they need to be. They don't need to be every day. They do need their breaks. They do need to be able to go home and just spend time at home and relax. But I do think that when it comes to this, they have to be on a very dominant level of, not a very dominant, but a very good level of, I can go for a title almost at any time. I'm not doing it because there's other things in my way. That's what I expect from those two in particular. The other two guys I do expect to be two absolute monsters. The last one I said I don't know his name. I'm sorry. I don't know him actually at all, so I can't speak on it.
Cage can't cut a promo for his life. His wrestling is alright. Lance Archer is also kind of like just an average guy. And Matt Sydal is only really known for that RKO. Chris says that the AEW Women's...
That's Evan Bourne? Fudge! Well, back it up. That's Evan Bourne. Oh, congrats. Hey, Evan Bourne. Bro, I didn't even know. You so different. That's crazy. Go ahead, bro.
Championship belt still needs a makeover.
Yes. Give that title belt a goddamn makeover. I'm tired of how it looks. I didn't want to say nothing. I was trying my best to be nice about it, but I cannot. I freaking hate how that title belt looks. That title belt looks worse than the Divas Championship. I prefer them to have the goddamn Divas Championship because at least that had a little bit big. Do you see how small that figure is? That sucker does not look like a legitimate champ. That looks like a toy. It looks like a toy. Like something I would give to my goddamn little brother as a joke. No, bro. That looks like something I would find. That doesn't look like I don't want the replica of that. Probably for, if I ever did replica, I'll only be getting it for the sake of saying, we got it. That's it. I wouldn't. Oh my gosh, that title was so irritatingly bad looking. I don't even want. I'm sorry. I'm a little upset over it because I was excited, but when I saw the title, I kind of was like, maybe it'll get better over time. It didn't. And it still hasn't grown on me at all. I still hate the way it looks. I hate to see anyone hold that title. The only person that looked good was, I forgot her name, the real skinny lady that had it. She looked real good with the title. That was it. Nobody else looks good with that title. Britt Baker, garbage with that title looking, bro. We need a bigger belt, look more pristine. Looks like you can't tell almost the darn difference between a world title and the women's title. That's what I want, and I don't want it to look exactly the same, but I want it to look like a championship level title, like something I'm supposed to take seriously, basically what I'm saying.
100%. I don't understand why AEW brought a new belt for Britt Baker, only for it to look pretty ugly and small still. Literally, there was no difference that they made. Maybe they did make a slight difference, but come on. It wasn't that
it's
great.
It's still ugly, bro. I don't give a fudge.
Cos Leon says that he actually likes the Pinnacle, and it was a great character boost, especially for FTR and Shawn Spears. And yeah, that's actually right.
I like them. There was really nothing wrong with it. I actually really liked it. It was really fun. I like Shawn Spears. I like FTR in particular. All three of them, to me, if I could ever do anything, I'll make sure that they stay together and that they would run, not roughshod, but they would have to be in the realm of, okay, so this is what we're doing. How do I put it? They would be the kind of characters that for sure would be main event material, but definitely mainly stayed in like the mid card, and definitely was like the real heels that people were kind of tired of looking at because they're tired of them winning so much or tired of them being involved in a lot of different things. Not like the fans are tired and they want them to leave. No, not like that. I mean, like in the sense of like wrestling wise, like you're tired of like, oh, of course, bro, they're going to win again. You know, like when you're still a kid and you're watching, like kind of like that kind of stuff. Not like us right now being like, oh, I'm tired of Alexa Bliss being that character. Not like that. I mean, irritating heels type stuff. But yeah, I'm beat them.
Tiara and Shawn Spears weren't doing too well before this group came together, and I actually think it's a dope faction.
It is by far. It's. I like the way Shawn Spears looks, bro. Look at him up there. Look at my man's on the end. I know it's more members, but I was mainly focused on those three to be precise, because those three are the ones to me that if this team ever broke up, by far they're gonna break out. MJF is good. We already know that. You don't need nobody to tell you that. These three, I want you to know, they are by far. If I had to say so, I would definitely make sure. But as long as this team is still together, I can't wait. I can't wait for them to accomplish more. And I'm actually really glad that this team exists for them, personally.
Just need to be booked a little bit better, and I'd be happy with it. But the good news is, I think once MJF wins that title in 2022, that is when the pinnacle really becomes a top priority in AEW.
Okay,
Triple KR says that Adam Page is the man of AEW who's going to carry the company on his back for a long time. He will turn out to be the bigger asset than Kenny Omega for AEW. And yes,
oh yeah, by far. He's gonna be like the face of AEW after a while. Like right now, when I think of AEW, I do think of a lot of different people that are in AEW. I don't really think they have an in particular face. Like John Moxley. Like okay, put it like this: the champion felt like the face. When Chris Jericho grabbed the title, even before he felt like he was AEW. It felt like AEW was Chris Jericho. And when John Moxley won it, it felt the same way. Kenny Omega, it doesn't feel like it personally. It feels like he has some good storylines or some good rivalries going on at the moment, and that's good. But personally, to me, I don't know why. I don't know if it's not that I dislike Kenny Omega, because if you could have asked me years ago about Kenny, I would tell you the best wrestler of all times. But I don't know what it is, but I don't feel like he's the face of AEW. I feel like it's Adam Page right now. I feel like when you think of it, you would think maybe Cody Rhodes, maybe even other wrestlers, Daniel Bryanson, Tommy End, Malachi Black, even my man Murphy, whatever his name's gonna be in AEW, him, like definitely. But yeah, he's gonna definitely be like the John Cena of it. He's gonna be like the face. That's always there, bro. He's just gonna be just the fan favorite heel or face. He's gonna be worth it every time, bro.
I think Hangman Adam Page is one of the biggest stars in wrestling right now. He is definitely the biggest babyface in all of professional wrestling. Like WWE, AEW, New Japan, everything. He's the biggest babyface right now. Ramen Master says that CM Punk should be a main event guy. We don't know how many good years he has left. And yes, he will be a main event guy. Just give him...
Yeah, I about to say that. Just give him some time. Let my man have these mid-card matches. Because these mid-card matches are actually really good. And it's not... Because let's be real. If he was main event right now, he would be still in the show. There would be no reason to watch Kenny Omega's title reign. No reason to watch any of these other people because CM Punk would... Because CM Punk really could carry everything on his back. But I prefer it the way it is right now. Let him slowly build himself up to going against, like, for the TNT Championship, for the AEW Championship. So things like that, personally, for me, how I feel.
Sometime Tony Khan does not want to push him into the main event scene right away. He's a little rusty, and you can see he's a little rusty in the ring, but he's getting all his tools back, and he's going to be main event guy sooner or later. Alex says that Darby Allin is this generation's Jeff Hardy, and I think he has the potential to be bigger and better than Jeff Hardy. Okay.
By far, I'll stop you at a certain point. He's this generation Jeff Hardy, yes. He's this generation Jeff Hardy. The fan, when it comes to him, I personally love Darby Allin, and I love that he with Sting and everything like that. I love it. But better than Jeff? No. No. 2009, by far, in 2008, and even 2007, Jeff Hardy tops anything he does. He would have to win the AEW championship, and not only win it, but he has to hold it for way longer than, and he has to do a lot more stuff in a short period of time or a longer period of time to be able to overcome that hurdle that he's currently in, Jeff Hardy's. But when it comes to like the generation, like our generation of Jeff Hardy, yes, yeah. He is, and he does it in his own way, and I love it. I love separating him from Jeff and saying that he's a little bit like Jeff, but he's his own style of it, and it's really good. He does a lot of the things that Jeff Hardy does when it comes to like character-wise. Like his character seems to be like what Jeff Hardy's character could have been if he was more of a heel. Cause let's be real, Darby Allin feels more of a heel a lot of times than face to me. Even when cause like a guy that's always just mean mugging you, it's just always, no matter what the situation is, I want to work with you, I'm gonna end you. Like, that's what he looks like. So that's just me. I'm sorry, my boy, but that's just me being funny. But that's what it feels like to me. Yeah, basically what I'm saying is this: I don't fully agree with it, but I'll say half of it I agree, the other half I don't.
I'll stop you right there, Alex. You had me when you said this generation's Jeff Hardy,
Same.
but he will not be bigger or better than Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy literally wrestled during the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era and the PG Era, and he's wrestling right now. You cannot say that Darby Allin is ever going to be better or bigger than that guy. Jalen says, even though he hasn't gotten his moment yet, Pac is still the best overall wrestler in AEW.
The best high-flying wrestler overall in AEW. The best character-wise when it comes to like characters that crossed over from WWE to AEW. Outside of Chris Jericho, outside of Jon Moxley. Let me put it in order. Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, and a few others. Maybe Christian. Pac is my strong number 4, and the only reason is because Chris Jericho carried the company. Jon Moxley did the same thing. Christian was more of a surprise. He didn't carry, but he definitely was a surprise for everyone. Pac, to me personally, really could. He's one of my favorite characters currently outside of anyone else I could mention. He's by far one of my favorites. The reason being is because I love Neville. You could look at me from the past to present for when I played the W2K14. I love the Neville character. I love the character. Oh, was it 2015? Was it 2015, right? It was 2015, right? It was 2K15 that he was in. Or was it 2K14? Because like Sami Zayn and them were it too. And then they added more, and then they said to add like a lot more of the NXT wrestlers and all that. You know what I'm saying, bro? Yes, he's worth it. Overall, yes. Outside of Hangman Adam Page, but yes.
And Jalen, he is definitely one of the best. I would say he's top 5, and he definitely deserves a spot at the top soon. Because Pac is great. He's so good. He's so underrated in AEW. It's crazy. And the last hot take comes from Willie's Network, and he says that Andrade's WWE run has been better than his AEW run so far. And Willie, what I gotta say is,
Hold on.
I don't think so.
Okay, I have to make sure that we weren't gonna say nothing stupid, bro. We can't say nothing stupid now, can we? Yes, it has. It definitely by far the WWE run is better than AEW run because the things he accomplished in the time. Because in NXT, he was a bigger star than he was on the main roster. Let's be real. In AEW, don't get me wrong, it's good to see him here. Love to see him here. Thank you for being here. You can be a bona fide star here, like you should be. But you're still not right now. You're still growing right now. So that's just my thoughts on it.
His AEW run is good. Obviously, it's not. But I don't think his WWE run was good either. At this point, both companies have failed.
No. Neither company really necessarily failed him. They failed him over time. Let me explain. NXT. He did great. He was a phenomenal champion. Phenomenal NXT champion. he went to the main roster. He wasn't the best of all of them, but he was definitely by far could have been a long reigning like United States or Intercontinental champion. Been just a fabulous champion that could have, if given the right storylines when he first came out, he could have been going for the WWE or Universal Championship. Oh, folks.
Utilize Andrade properly, but I still think Tony Khan is going to figure it out. And
Oh yeah, let me talk about AEW. AEW, they're starting off slow with him. You can tell that they're trying to do something, but they don't have a complete what's the name for him. They're still figuring out the blueprint for him, and that's fine. That's fine. It's not bad. It's just starting. It's just starting. So we'll wait.
6 or 7 months, we will be having a totally different conversation about Andrade. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope y'all.
That was all I had to say. I'm gone.